The calm you feel when you open that daily horoscope notification is completely real. When the world feels shapeless and chaotic, looking for a signal that makes sense of the noise is a very human hunger. Astrology takes the dread of not knowing what happens next and folds it into a tidy story. It gives you timing, a plot, and characters. Saturn is teaching you patience. Venus wants you to open up. But if that reading profoundly soothes the nervous system at 9 in the morning, why do you find yourself reaching for it again by noon? The relief it grants creates a growing requirement for the next dose. Take a user we will call Maya. At first, checking her app was just a fun little addition to her morning routine. Over time, she noticed that on days she forgot to look, she felt unmoored. By lunch, Maya reached for the app to study herself. It had transitioned from a morning curiosity into required ballast. 65% of young Americans said astrology successfully reduces their stress and makes them feel more confident. However, 31% of that same group report astrology gives them active anxiety, and 1 in 3 experience panic if they fail to check it regularly. These are not two different groups of people. The comfort and the dread are often the same person on 2 different days. The habit that lowers stress on Monday becomes the thing you panic about missing on Thursday. It is a dependency describing itself. To your nervous system, an unpredictable and uncontrollable world reads as an active threat. It demands immediate order. Psychologists call this intolerance of uncertainty. For some, sitting in the unknown feels like a splinter under the nail. Astrology walks right up to that specific wound and offers a precise balm. It tells you there is a pattern, and you are right where you are supposed to be. But clinically, this triggers a behavioral trap called reassurance seeking. When you constantly ask for proof that things will be okay, checking a lock twice, rereading a text, you get a hit of calm. You also teach your brain that the unknown was genuinely dangerous, and you only survived it because you checked. Swap the double-checked lock for the daily cosmic reading. Every time you open the app to study yourself, you get that hit of relief. You also learn that the morning was unbearable until the stars weighed in. You train yourself to doubt your own footing without a cosmic second opinion. You are getting relief, but you are not being comforted out of your anxiety. You are being systematically trained deeper into it, one soothing notification at a time. We usually assume astrology targets only the anxious, but a study by Anderson and colleagues found the single strongest predictor of beliefs is actually narcissism. Astrology deeply flatters the ego. It frames a difficult leak as a deliberate chapter in a grand cosmic narrative, one the universe is bothering to tell specifically for you. App design weaponizes this desire through intermittent reinforcement. One morning, the notification is warm, the next it is cold, and the day after, thrillingly specific. This acts exactly like a slot machine for the brain. The ambiguity creates an itch that the app is designed to scratch. Think of this transaction as a certainty tax. When life hands you an unknown, you can do the uncomfortable work of tolerating it, or you can pay the tax and buy a 10-second answer from the stars. The true price is not the 10 seconds spent scrolling. Tolerating uncertainty is a muscle. The more faithfully you outsource that job to an app, the more that muscle atrophies. You lose your baseline mental capacity in the exact same motion that you buy temporary relief. And what happens when the reading is bad? Through the nocebo effect, expecting a rough day primes your attention to actively assemble evidence for it. The email bounces, a text is misread, and you blame Mercury, skipping past everything ordinary and fine to fulfill a prophecy handed to you at breakfast. Does this mean the only real solution is to delete the apps entirely and abandon the poetry of the sky? We often force astrology to act as an oracle, a final authority that decides whether today is safe. It is an impossible job for any chart to hold. Take Theo. When he realized he was handing whole months over to planetary retrogrades, he didn't quit. He kept the ritual, but dropped the veto. The universe was allowed to have opinions, but it no longer got a vote. That is the shift. You demote the app from an oracle handing you a verdict to a mirror that merely prompts you with a question. For Maya, this meant one tiny behavioral tweak. She shifted her daily horoscope reading to the night. By checking it after the day had already happened, it became a reflection on a lived reality rather than a script for an unlived one. This simple shift completely loosens the dependency. It stops asking the sky to perform the impossible task of erasing uncertainty before it happens. The stars cannot manufacture lasting calm for you, but they provide a beautiful map, showing you the exact places where you need to build your own tolerance for the unknown.